Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing today? I don't have much for news today. I've been trying to kind of follow what's going on in the news, and for me, it's a slow news day. There's just not anything really exciting going on, but I have bad news because we look forward to slow news days, don't we? Of course we do. Those are a nice break. Well, the bad news is, my friends, sometimes it takes a couple days for things to really sink in for me to understand exactly what's going on in the world, and I sit here and I think about it, and it finally starts to make sense to me. And it's entirely possible that this entire video is a complete overreaction and I'm just being a crazy person today. Hey, I'm prone to acting crazy sometimes. That's just sort of what I do. But I am starting to think, my friends, that the American democracy has officially fallen. It is officially over. We just don't know it yet. Since I said democracy, have you guys ever ran into a smartass on the internet that says something like, America's never been a democracy, it's a republic? We're not going to explain that to him, okay? He'll be in the comments somewhere going, you don't know what you're talking about. So we're not even going to explain that one. So a little something to laugh about, I guess. But upon the events, well, ever since Donald Trump took office, honestly, but especially the events over the last few days, I have started to realize that rule of law no longer applies. Donald Trump is officially, at this point, a dictator. And I'm going to back that up with actual facts in this video. It's not like when Joe Biden was president and Fox News would be going on about how Joe Biden's a ruthless dictator, and it cuts to like a video of Joe Biden just licking his vanilla ice cream cone or taking a nap or whatever he was doing. I'm talking, my friends, about actual dictator shit that's going on in this country. And like I said, I don't know if I'm overreacting. I don't know if there's any saving us, if there's any coming back from where we're actually at. But we've got a severe fucking crisis on our hands. And the biggest fucking problem with all of it is we let it happen. We as Americans, and I understand, a lot of us went out and we made the right decision when we voted. We didn't vote for somebody that said, God damn it, that they would be a dictator on day one. You guys remember that? He said, I want to be a dictator on day one, just for a day, he said. And then when he was asked about it, he kept saying, well, yeah, I want to be a dictator so we can drill, baby, drill, which is one proof that Donald Trump just speaks in buzzwords that dumb people understand, only dumb people understand, but also that he was lying. He was fucking lying, because you don't need to be a dictator of fucking anything to drill oil. That's a real industry where people work in every fucking day that doesn't require a dictator. But we knew he fucking had to backtrack somehow and try to say something that he thought was fucking clever, and tell everybody why he said that he wanted to be a dictator. But the point is, I am starting to wonder if America is already gone and we are too goddamn oblivious to know it. There are probably plenty of people out there that are like, yeah, stupid, we tried to fucking tell you. They're saying that to me right now. And there's people that think America is the greatest it's ever been, and those people are fucking delusional. So I'm going to talk about some of the dictator shit that Donald Trump has done since he's come into office, and I'm going to miss a few. Guys, feel free to add in the comments what I'm fucking missing here, other dictator shit that Donald Trump has done. But we're there. We're there, my friends. Let's start with, I believe it was day one. Remember, Donald Trump went in and just signed a bunch of fucking executive orders. He didn't even know what they were. They were reading to him and telling him. They weren't reading them to him. They were telling him what they were. The same way that like a used car salesman tells you what that contract is you're signing, and he goes, if you could just sign here. He don't want you to read the fucking contract. He don't want you to know what's in the contract. He just wants your signature at the bottom. And that's exactly what was going on Donald Trump's first day. One of those executive orders was an executive order to get rid of, I believe it's the 14th Amendment. It's one of the goddamn amendments. I'm half redneck, my friends. Fucking, we know about the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. There's more after that? What are you talking about? I believe it's the 14th, though, that is your birthright citizenship. And boy, did MAGA go crazy. Didn't they get excited about that? They got so fucking excited and said, hell yeah, we're going to get rid of all all those dadgum anchor babies now, because that's the short-sighted, small-mindedness of the fucking MAGA movement. Birthright citizenship is a little more important than that. And honestly, I don't know what all the hysteria is about the anchor babies. I'm not calling them that. I'm using the terminology that they fucking use, right? But look, it says if you are born in America, on American soil, you are an American citizen. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we go through the even bigger issues that are happening in this video. Just keep that in the back of your mind. It's bad enough, even when you think about it in the way that a MAGA person would think about it, like those damn anchor babies. That's bad enough, but it gets fucking worse than that. Look, we were all born here. Well, most of us were born here. I was born here, which means I have birthright citizenship. Keep it in the back of your mind, but also keep in mind Donald Trump signed an executive order. I believe it was shut down by the courts. I don't fucking remember. But signed an executive order getting rid of that. You think that only applied to the Mexicans? Do you think that only applied to, you know, the people that MAGA's been trained by Donald Trump and Fox News to fucking hate? No, that applies to absolutely fucking everyone. So keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. Now, over the last couple days, I have really struggled with this Abrego Garcia situation, the man from Maryland that was illegally deported. I was told deported was the wrong word a few times in yesterday's video. I unfortunately don't know what the right word is. He was unlawfully removed from America to an El Salvador concentration camp, for lack of fucking better term, and the Trump administration is lying their ass off about who he is as a person. They are saying that he is a member of MS-13, and they are saying that he was part of the MS-13 gang in New York City. Now, Abrego has never been to New York City. How about that? And the only other piece of information they said that tied him to a gang was he was wearing Chicago Bulls apparel. Remember the NBA team from Chicago, the Chicago Bulls? I don't know about you, my friends, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s when the Chicago Bulls were like the hottest team in the NBA. Michael Jordan played for them. The greatest of all time, some would say. I'm not a basketball fan, but everybody had Chicago Bulls gear. Now, I want you to think back just for a minute. MAGA, if you're listening, set all your biases and all your hatred aside. Do you think without that, I know, I'm asking a lot here, but do you think that somebody, because they're wearing Chicago Bulls merchandise, should be removed from the country and placed in an El Salvador prison? Do you think, honestly, all hate and biases aside, please, I'm begging you, do you think that's a good enough reason to remove someone and put them in a prison in El Salvador? And if you say yes, then you fucking deserve everything that's about to happen to us, because you're not paying attention to how big of a fucking deal this is. But they're lying. They're straight up lying about who he was as a person. He was a father, you know, a husband, a union worker. He worked with those labor jobs. He was a provider. He came to America, and this was what I always fucking hear, because don't fucking forget for a minute, my friends, I'm from the country. I am from the fucking hillbillies. I'm from the rednecks. And all I ever heard from them was they would always say, well, I don't care who comes to America, just do it the right way. He did it the right way. He was doing everything he was supposed to do, and he was doing it fucking right, and he was not a gang member, which leads me to believe maybe this whole MAGA movement doesn't actually believe what the fuck they say, because when those arguments fall apart, they just move the fucking goalpost on you and go do something else. This situation pisses me off. It makes me angry. But here's where it gets fucking worse, my friends. Here's where it gets worse. As we talked about in yesterday's video, they are straight up ignoring the 920 fucking Supreme Court order to facilitate his return. They are lying. Stephen Miller's lying to Donald Trump and saying, yes, the court ruled in our favor. No, they didn't. And my friends, there are checks and balances. So there were, let me rephrase that. There were checks and balances in this country. Each branch of the government held the other branch accountable. None had more power than the other. And that is what our founding fathers intended. Now, our founding fathers may have been flawed individuals. They were most definitely fucking slave owners. They were probably hateful fucking people. But they had a vision for government that actually works. All their personal character flaws aside, they had built a vision for government that led us to have no kings and made it so that no particular branch of government had too much fucking power. And that's a good thing, aside from their bullshit, right? Aside from who they were as people. And I don't know that to be fact. I'm just assuming with the era. I believe it was Andrew Jackson was a prominent slave owner, I believe. I don't remember necessarily. But anyways, we can fact check all that later. There was a system put in place to prevent this very fucking thing from happening. And then as we watched Donald Trump rise to power, we watched the very people that were flag-waving, red-blooded Americans, that were patriots, that supported our troops, and fucking all these things, that are military, that are former military. A lot of rural America's whole life, not whole life, but what am I trying to say? Part of their entire heritage is they turn 18, they go to the military, their dad did it, their granddad did it, just goes on down the line. Family tradition, let's say. And these very same people honestly do not believe in democracy. They do not believe in America. They are okay with one man, Donald Trump, taking complete control over America, and for some reason they think they fucking won. They think they won something because of that. What's it going to take? This is the shit that drives me fucking crazy. What's it going to take? Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk right now are in the middle of bankrupting America's farmers, the heartland, rural America. And it's really happening. It's a real fucking thing that is going on. Like I said, the military sort of family tradition out in the country. While they're laying off veterans, cutting off VA benefits, doing all these things to fuck veterans. Where are these people? The only thing I can come up with is spineless cowards. They're not willing to stand up for what's right and wrong because it goes against the grain from where they're from. And that's part of the goal of this channel. Look at me, friends. I'm a trucker. I'm not supposed to be saying this shit. This is against the rules out here with trucking. I'm supposed to fall in line, shut my fucking mouth, and fucking worship Donald Trump. Those are the fucking rules, and they're not unspoken. They're not unspoken at all. It's not a well-kept secret. I'm out of line out here, okay? I'm putting my ass on the line because I'm watching my country be fucking torn apart by one man. Does that not bother anyone else? Is anybody else? And I know there's lots of people out there that are standing up. I know there are, but there's not fucking enough. There's not enough saying that this is okay. Can we get a few farmers to fall out of line? Can we, and you speak up and say this isn't okay? Can we get a few more truckers to show up and say this isn't okay? Look, I love this spotlight all by myself. I think the only left-leaning trucker on YouTube that's making these videos. I could be wrong about that, but I'll share the fucking spotlight with you. All right? We need more people to start speaking the fuck up and get out of line. Do your patriotic fucking duty at this point. Now to get back to the point, because I sidetracked the shit out of myself. They are refusing to return Abrego Garcia to America. But a massive thing that fucking happened is they... I'm sorry, I'm laughing at myself about how the tone just changed and I calmed down just like that. It's not funny, though. It's not funny. They refused him due process. MAGA, get your head out of your ass. Do not ever, ever cheer for another human being in America to lose their right to due process. Are you fucking shitting me? Do you know how slippery this slope is? You support one person losing their rights to due process, and then it's going to be hundreds, and then it's going to be thousands, and eventually it's going to be your ass if you bother to speak up. Don't wait. Now's the fucking time to say this is not okay. He did not get due process. This is Donald Trump testing all of this. Testing the system to see what he can get away with, and he's fucking winning. He's getting away with it. I cannot believe the people that are cheering for the loss of rights of Americans in America. You've got to be fucking shitting me. This is absolutely fucking insane. So he didn't get due process. He was just taken out of the country. He was kidnapped. and sent to fucking El Salvador. That's not what we do in America. And enough of this Christian bullshit. We're done. We're done. Like I said a few videos ago, we're done with all the patriotism shit in rural America. You guys can forget about it. You're done with that. You're not Christians either. All right? You're not good fucking Christians. If you're going to allow this to happen to people and you're not going to speak up, either because you're putting your own neck on the line or because you think it's fucking funny, fuck all your Christianity bullshit too. Fuck it. You're done. This is not, and I'm speaking from fucking a position on that too. You guys don't know everything about me now, do you? You might find out right now where I got this from, where all this talking comes from, right? My grandfather was a preacher, a minister, whatever you want to call it, in the Methodist Church for fucking years. After his time in the Air Force, that's what he did for the rest of his life. He would move to a town, you know, the church provided a house. He would move all over the fucking place, kind of traveled a little bit, you know, did all that stuff for years. And I'll tell you, outside of his job, he wasn't really a religious guy. He didn't really talk about it that much, right? He just went to work and he did his job. Don't worry, this has a fucking happy ending. My grandfather never would have stood by and laughed at this happening to another person. He would have found a way to fucking help. He would have spoke up in his fucking church and said this isn't okay. He would have figured out if he could buy that kid a plane ticket himself. And this fucking America is so goddamn disappointing now, and so fucking full of hate that we cheer this on, that we support this, that we say this is a fucking good thing. Your ass is on the line. As long as you keep supporting people losing their due process rights in this country, eventually it's going to be you. And if it can't be because of your patriotism, if it can't be because of your religion, for God's sakes, do it to save your own ass. Stand up for yourself and say this isn't fucking okay. It's not okay. Anyways, no due process. They're ignoring the fucking court orders. Abrego Garcia will probably never come home. There are people speculating that he's not even alive at this point. I don't want to speculate that. I feel fucking awful for his wife that was on the news yesterday saying, fucking bring my husband home. We miss him. He didn't do anything wrong. But with all that in mind, that they're testing what they can get away with, let's go back to the very fucking beginning of this video. Real quick side note, Donald Trump yesterday asked the president of El Salvador to build more prisons so they can start sending the homegrown criminals there. And as I covered in yesterday's video, that's criminal as according to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said that journalists reporting negatively on him are criminals. Donald Trump has said that people that don't buy or own a Tesla are criminals. I am not making this up. Donald Trump said that not buying a Tesla is a crime. How much of your freedoms are you willing to give up, America? Now remember that executive order? Did he get away with it? I don't think he did, but he tried to. Donald Trump's executive order did not say I'm removing birthright citizenship from brown people. It was a removal of birthright citizenship. Now he has made it clear that he's willing to remove Americans that he deems criminals and send them to prisons in El Salvador. Do you know that doesn't mean Abrego Garcia? That means every fucking one of us. Any fucking one of us that wants to get out of line with what Donald Trump says is subject to everything that is going on. I do not know what it's going to take to get this point across to America. I don't think we're going to. I just destroyed my own fucking dreams, my hopes and dreams and goals just in that one fucking sentence. Because people are actively cheering for this, thinking it won't be them. And we have seen over and over the amount of Trump supporters in this term that thought it wouldn't be them when it came to losing a job or their farm going bankrupt or certain different things being cut off from different kinds of aid that the government provides. And it's only a matter of time before one of these fucking MAGA hat wearing lunatics falls out of line with Donald Trump, says something negative, and faces the consequences of being stripped of their citizenship and being moved to El Salvador. And then the administration, the regime, his whatever they're fucking called, goes on the media to lie about you and say that you were MS-13, that you were whatever. And it's fucking disappointing that America, a huge portion of America, is going along with this. Well, now I'm fucking depressed. I don't know. I got my nicotine. Well, that's it. Love you guys. Bye now.